I think I'm saying that we struggle all our lives to answer it. But it's the struggle that is important. That's what helps us to define our place in the universe.
This is Beverly, Dr. Beverly, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Look where we are. Here, all of us, in this moment. So let's do what we spent our entire lives learning to be great at.
And this is Crusher Convo. Hey guys, it's Jessie, and I am here to do my review of episode 7 of season 3 of Strange New Worlds. What is Starfleet? Now remember, if you have not seen this episode, turn back now because there will be spoilers.
Spoilers!
This episode was very different and reminded me of the Bones episode called The Movie in the Making, which was in season 11, where it followed Brennan and the Squints on, their day-to-day in the Jeffersonian. And so that was instant in my mind. But let's go ahead and jump right to it.
Starfleet presents themselves as our quadrant shining example of duty, honor, peacekeeping. But what separates a federation from an empire?
So usually I would go ahead and skip the recap just to avoid that as I'm recording my reaction, but there was no recap, and all of a sudden it went straight into this opening of the documentary. And I liked it. I thought, oh, I'm intrigued. This is kind of cool, which again, reminded me of that Bones episode. And so I was in it. I was all like, what are they going to be showcasing today? Now, I know Beto had been in the season recording and stuff like that. And he had authorization in order to record while they're doing their meetings and stuff like that. And so you kind of wonder, like, what is this going to entail? Here it is. This is the episode. This is what Beto's been working on. And of course, he's talking to each of the crew and getting their insight about what it's like to be in Starfleet. And so you kind of get the idea of, what each crew member does and why they're in Starfleet, how it affects them. So you kind of got an insight of where these characters are coming from, right? It's now season 3. We've gotten to know these characters a little bit. But now you really get to see just their motivation about being in Starfleet, especially from Erica and Uhura, right? But yeah, I think that was kind of a cool way of doing it instead of just, they only have 10 episodes. So there's some things that we were always questioning about with these characters because we never got to see it. There's a very short season. This kind of opened it up a little bit, and so I enjoyed that a lot.
Well, I am a doctor, so I've seen many deaths, I'm afraid.
Have you ever been ordered by Starfleet to kill anyone?
I will defend myself, like anybody would, but it is not a function of my current job.
I wanted to highlight this one because as a Beverly Crusher fan and also in the love of all the Doctor characters, I wanted to showcase Mbenga. Now, just like any military medic, right? Because he was in war and stuff. He's there to save lives. That's his number one priority. Just like Beverly, just like the EMH, just like Phlox, just like any doctor that we've seen, they're there to save lives. But because there is kind of a military aspect to it, they have to also, defend themselves when they need to. But it hurts them. And Mbenga really showcased that. I'm sure like Beverly picked up those phasers and attacked, anyone that attacked them. But the thing is that I'm sure it was hard, like for all of them to have to do that. And, what that takes a toll on these doctors who have an oath to save, a Hippocratic oath to save anyone that they can. But then they have to take lives at almost the same level, right? And it's just hard for them. And I think Mbenga really showcased that. I think Babs did a really good job of showing that it still bothers him Even though day to day, he's still doing what he needs to do. But in the back of his mind, like those deaths still haunt him in a way, which I'm sure is the same with all the doctors.
Yes. Closer.
Spock has made connection with the Chikaro.
I am not sensing any aggression, but I do believe it is aware of our presence. I see her. Feel her. Something so sublime.
I liked this scene, especially because Uhura was very dead set on trying to communicate with the Chikara. And I was all like, go Chikara, right? Throughout the entire episode. I was mentioning the crystalline entity. I was mentioning the Farpoint creatures. I was mentioning all these things that have been used for destruction and, or against their will, right? And Uhura, because she is the communications officer, she had a hunch, especially what she saw what happened to Spock. And of course, Chapel's all for it. She's like, let's go, right? But she, of course, is there as the medical personnel to make sure everything goes correctly. But even them trying to communicate, there's danger. And when you saw that they were attacked, it was like, okay, what else is happening here? What is going on? And, it just... You can tell that, like, okay, they're using this creature for something really, really bad. And of course, Starfleet doesn't realize this because they doesn't seem like they ask questions. They're just like, all right, you want to take a creature and use it to try and rebuild your world? Great. We're not going to ask why. You should ask why, because they were using this creature as a weapon. And this creature did not want to be used as a weapon. Okay. And it almost, like, weirdly, I thought of pit bulls. Okay. Pit bulls have a bad rap. They are the loving breed, one of the most loveliest breeds out there. They're adorable. They are loyal, and that's why they have a bad rap, because if you train them, they are going to be loyal to you, and they're like, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to attack people. We're supposed to attack whatever. And they're not, and that's, to me, this is me. I'm on a rant, but this is me. It is the owner's fault, and then the dog gets put down, and it just pisses me off. And so I feel like this is where this was happening to the Chikara. Like, it had to be put down because it knew nothing else but destruction. But it knew enough where it's like, I have to die because I'm going to kill other people. Like, I can't stop myself. Okay. Even thought of that episode of TNG, the prisoner, where he was created by his own people as a military weapon to destroy and attack and all that stuff. And he didn't know how to stop himself. Okay. And all he wanted was freedom. All the ones that were altered, they just wanted freedom. They didn't want to be weapons. Okay. I was crying. So sorry to my Admiral Patreon members who are watching me emotional and, like, snot and tears coming down my face. But I was like for the creature, and I was sad that that's how it ended. But again, there was just a lot of like, screw Starfleet, screw these other aliens who were trying to use the Chikara as a weapon. But of course, Pike and everybody are like, we had our orders, but then they had to, change course and be like, no, we're going to do something differently. Finally, Starfleet was like, okay, fine, we'll do it. But again, it was an emotionally impact episode that I lost it. And my apologies to everyone that watched me cry. But it sucks. Like, it just sucks because we kind of see that still to this day. And apparently, admirals and all that stuff in Starfleet in the future clearly still make those horrible emotional mistakes. So,
What separates a federation from an empire? And a starship from a warship?
What is Starfleet? It's the people. All of us. We make Starfleet what it is, not the other way around.
So this last little bit, as he's ending his documentary, he is showcasing what makes Starfleet, right? And it's family. And it's not just blood. It is what you make of it, right? And I loved what Uhura said at the end, where she was all like, we are what makes Starfleet. It's not the other way around. And it's so true. And it kind of makes me think of Star Trek fans. We are what makes Star Trek. Like, we embody all of that we have taken in and seen and what Gene Roddenberry's ideas were. And we're like, we're going to take it, we're going to run with it, and we're going to try and do and have that future, right? So I loved that ending, how it was impactful because everyone had suffered some kind of loss and they found each other. And it's kind of the same even with TNG or Voyager, especially because they had to work together in order to get out of the Delta Quadrant. Deep Space Nine, they all had to work together in order to handle the Cardassians and all that stuff. And so, yeah, it just showcased of what not only Starfleet is about, but what Star Trek is about. And I really enjoyed that ending. So now I'm going to rate this episode. And I don't like giving episodes a 5 out of 5 because that means it is the best episode ever, right? And of course, Those Old Scientists is one of the best episodes ever. So I am very picky about giving a 5.5, 5 out of 5. But I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. And the reason is that I was heartbroken that the creature died. Now, I know there was no other option in this aspect, and it made the choice to die because it didn't want to be a weapon. But horrible. Like, I did not like that. But it was a great episode. I think it's probably the best episode this season, right next to the Salat who ate its tail. And yeah, as much as it was different, I still feel like it was a good Star Trek episode. So again, 4.5 out of 5 documentaries. That would be my rating there. So I want to know what you guys thought of this episode. So please comment below. If you haven't already, please like this video. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would be eternally grateful. And of course, you can follow me on all the social medias. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. I really did enjoy this episode. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Live long and prosper. Bye.
Crusher out.